Something historic just unfolded on the world stage, and Canada was right in the spotlight. At the APEC Summit 2025, Prime Minister Mark Carney met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. But this wasn't just another diplomatic handshake. In that one meeting, it felt as if Canada's place in global politics had suddenly shifted. For 8 long years, no Canadian Prime Minister had sat face-to-face with China's leader. But here's what really caught everyone off guard. It wasn't the formality, the ceremony, or the flashes of cameras. It was the feeling in the room. Remember how tense and awkward Trump's meetings with Xi used to be? This time, everything was different. Carney's meeting was relaxed, friendly, almost surprisingly warm. That one moment sent a silent message to the world. Something big is changing. Mark Carney has taken Canada from bystander to key player on the global stage. And now the world is watching closely, wondering, what will Canada do next?
It is a pleasure to meet you again and to meet you for the first time in my capacity as Prime Minister. I had the great pleasure of attending, amongst other meetings in China, the G20, over which you presided, at a time of great hope for the international system and great progress under the banner of the G20. I look forward to further progress with your presidency of APEC next year. As you mentioned, our countries have a long history of cooperation, engagement, and trade. 55 years of diplomatic relations marked the anniversary 2 weeks ago. In recent years, we have not been as engaged. In fact, as you know, this is the first formal meeting between the Canadian Prime Minister and the President of the People's Republic of China for 8 years. Distance is not the way to solve problems, not the way to serve our people with people-centric growth, as you have advocated. Pragmatic and constructive engagement is, and I welcome the momentum that has been established.
The scene seemed quiet enough, just 2 leaders facing each other across a table. One represented the world's largest population, the other a country known for its steady influence. This wasn't just a casual diplomatic moment for Mark Carney. It was the start of something bigger, thawing a relationship that had been on ice for almost a decade. As Xi Jinping welcomed Carney, the atmosphere was different, genuine smiles and real respect, not something seen in recent years. This wasn't the chilly reception China once gave Trump's America. This was a new chapter, with China now looking at Canada as a credible, trustworthy partner. But as the world watched this new warmth, questions began to build. What hidden opportunities could this new alliance open up?
I also welcome the invitation to come to China to further the dialogue, and I very much look forward to doing so, because it's through this constructive and pragmatic dialogue that we will address a path for current issues, that we will establish a road to seize the many great opportunities between our countries, and also to have the platform that's needed for the dialogue to help build a more sustainable, inclusive international system.
At the same summit, President Xi's meeting with Donald Trump revealed a stark contrast that no one could ignore. When Xi spoke with Trump, his body language was stiff, the conversation formal and careful, no warmth, no genuine connection. It felt more like a guarded negotiation than a true partnership. 2 leaders exchanging words but keeping their distance, locked in rivalry. But just hours later, everything changed. As Xi met with Mark Carney, the atmosphere transformed. Suddenly there was laughter, relaxed gestures, and rare diplomatic rapport. That moment, with Xi leaning in and smiling at Carney, sent a clear and powerful message. Canada had become a nation that superpowers genuinely want to partner with. And as the world watched, one question lingered. Could Canada's new approach be changing the global game?
This meeting today is long overdue. It has been 8 years since a Canadian Prime Minister has met with the President of China. We now have a turning point in the relationship, a turning point that creates opportunities for Canadian families, for Canadian businesses and Canadian workers, and also creates a path to address current issues. So very pleased with the outcome of the meeting.
Then came the moment that shifted the entire summit's mood, a moment nobody saw coming. As their meeting ended, President Xi Jinping personally invited Mark Carney for an official state visit to China. This wasn't just a formal gesture. It was a strategic move. A state visit invitation to a Canadian leader is a rare honor and signals something big: global recognition of Canada's new importance. For Carney, it was more than just a compliment. It was proof that his careful, patient work to rebuild Canada's reputation is actually succeeding. In diplomatic circles, this invitation was like a standing ovation, offering not just applause for what Canada has done, but anticipation for what it might achieve next.
In his remarks, Xi congratulated Carney for becoming Prime Minister and noted that China-Canada relations have achieved a recovery and momentum towards positive development. Xi also invited Carney for a state visit, which the Prime Minister has accepted.
Carney's meeting with Xi wasn't just about trade. It was part of a much bigger shift. Carney is positioning Canada as the reliable bridge that major powers seek when trust is in short supply. While Trump keeps pushing allies away, Carney is quietly weaving connections that give Canada influence no matter which way global politics move. Every new deal with Asia or Europe chips away at Trump's grip and makes Canada stronger and more independent. That's why this handshake matters far beyond APEC. Beneath the surface, it's not just policy, it's leadership. Xi Jinping recognizes Carney as a unique kind of Western leader, someone who treats diplomacy as smart strategy rather than endless rivalry. With every handshake and every word, they're sending the world a clear signal. Canada's principles, now more than its proximity to America, are defining its place on the global stage. But the real twist? These subtle moves hint at a deeper transformation that's only beginning to unfold.